Hey everyone. Love it or hate it, Game of Thrones has been a worldwide phenomenon, and one we will most likely not see again for some time. The finale aired tonight on HBO, and I'm sure everyone will have some mixed reviews, but I thought I'd share a few of my likes and dislikes. Big spoiler warning for those who have yet to see it. Let's start with things I disliked about the finale. Dany's rule is cut short. Now, while I'm sure this will be controversial, I was a little upset to see Dany killed right before her reign could really begin. I know that there was honestly no other way this story could end, but I did hate to see a character I've followed for 8 seasons finally accomplish her goal, only to have it end within the first 20 minutes of the finale. I loved the scene of her in the throne room, and I liked how it didn't exactly mirror her vision of the season 2 finale, but that it did have some similarities. Watching Jon kill Dany after he promised to love her forever was heartbreaking and surprising to me. I knew someone was going to die in this scene, but I wasn't quite sure who it would be, and the few seconds in which you didn't know which one had been stabbed had me on edge. I do think Dany went too far with her burning of King's Landing, and there was no turning back at this point, and that she would have went on to make more bad decisions, so Jon really had no choice at this point but to kill her before someone else did. Sansa's choice to rule the North. Sansa not wanting to follow Bran as he became king of the Seven Kingdoms was also something I didn't like. I felt like Sansa was just being a brat and wanting a throne of her own. Her theory that the Northerners would not bend the knee was stupid, considering that they would have been following a true-born son of Ned Stark. I didn't buy this one at all, and I hated that in the end, Sansa returned to her hateful, spoiled brat self that I couldn't stand from season 1. What about character development? If someone had suggested she take the throne, would she have turned it down in favor of freeing the North? I don't think so. The Stark children's separation. After the past 8 seasons of the majority of the Stark children being apart, I loved how they were brought back together this year, but in the end, I hated how they were yet again separated. Most likely this time, they would never even see each other again. Obviously, we don't know what the future holds for the siblings, but I'd imagine that Bran will stay in the rebuilt King's Landing as ruler of the newly created Six Kingdoms, Sansa will rule the North, and Arya will continue her adventures in the uncharted parts of the world, and Jon will explore what's north of the Wall with the Free Folk. Now, things that I had mixed feelings over were probably Bran's rise to the throne. I never quite saw him being someone who would ever want this, so it was a little confusing to me. I guess the showrunners wanted a twist, and this was definitely a twist I never saw coming. I have no doubt he'd be a good ruler, but I can't help but wonder if the Six Kingdoms will be in trouble again once Bran passes on without an heir. I know that they said they would vote, but who knows with these lords and ladies. I'd imagine peace will be difficult to continue. I also had some conflicting feelings over Drogon burning the Iron Throne after Dany's murder. Now, I've always loved the dragons, and this season has been really rough on them, but was Drogon really intelligent enough to destroy the throne his mother died for? I mean, it's a nice thought, but I felt like it was a little cheesy. And while most people will love the performance Peter Dinklage gave when Tyrion found his brother and sister among the rubble of the Red Keep, I found this scene really strange. I mean, how did he pinpoint their location in all of the chaos of King's Landing? I found the scene very moving and powerful in his grief, but at the same time it was just really odd that he had no trouble finding them amongst the wreckage. Now, there were plenty of things I loved about the finale, and overall I found it really satisfying and appropriate, but these few moments did stand out to me. Dany's speech to her army at the beginning of the episode was a nice touch. Yes, she's power hungry, and her view of the wheel and the plan the future was a little off, but I loved seeing her in charge like this, and I liked how the scene looked, and really Dany's always at her best when she's leading her army. Now, while I was upset that Dany died, I did love how Drogon mourned her, and he took her body away. Who knows what became of Drogon after all this, but I did love how the scene looked, and I honestly got a little teary-eyed at him picking her up and flying away. She was his mother, and he was protecting her one last time. The entire last scene montage of the Stark children was beautifully shot. Obviously, I was not thrilled with how Sansa's storyline turned out, but I did love the shots of her coronation. They were really beautiful. I also loved seeing Arya sailing away, and I liked how this scene mirrored the season 4 finale shots of her leaving for Braavos. The shot of Jon and Ghost reuniting moved me, and I was so glad we got this scene after their goodbye in episode 4. At least one of the Stark kids and their wolves did get a happy ending. I loved the finale, and while it wasn't perfect, I thought it was well done, and it was a fitting ending to the series. Now, I'm sad it's over, but I'm glad we got most loose ends tied up, and I'm really looking forward to where HBO goes with this world.